Okay, 30 seconds to go before we start this Rhino race series. I didn't get to race Thursday because I didn't get back in town until last night, which is Thursday night. So I didn't get a chance to race. So this is my first race of the week. I decided when I woke up this morning, Friday morning, that I was going to do 3 races. This one was set at 5 o'clock. The Rhino race is about I think it's 9 miles, 9.5 miles, almost 10 miles. And I decided that I was going to do this one and then 2 more races right after it. We had 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Now, when I started this race, I knew that I had another race at 5. I saw this one at 5. I think it started at 5:03. And I knew I had another race at 5:30. So I knew I was going to be running a little tight, trying to get out of this race, rest up for the next race and take off. Because what I did was run the WMZ race series right after this one. So you will see at the end that it literally popped up saying, hey, you need to head to the next race while I'm still in this race. So we come off and we head to the start line, and I have our Bibby in front of me, and I decided what I was going to do is just ride with him throughout this race. It wasn't going to be no let me leave our Bibby or nothing like that. This is more of a relaxing race for me. And I moved, sorry about the top half of my screen. I'm trying to adjust it now. I'll get it nailed in this week because a lot of times I've been putting up my meter so people can see what I'm putting out, what kind of power I'm putting out. And as you can see, I'm putting out power, but you never get to see the metrics from the graph on the bottom. So I was doing that. I made a mistake, put my picture too low, and I pulled the screen down I pushed it up just a little too high. But I will fix that this week. Tomorrow, before I race tomorrow on which y'all know is the Tiny Race Series, and Swift Insider Tiny Race Series tomorrow, which I look forward to every week. I will fix the screen so I have both of those showing the metrics at the bottom and what's at the top. I did that on purpose because I wanted to show that I wasn't putting out a massive amount. Even though the numbers seem high for normal people, I'm a bear on a bike, so my numbers are a little skewed towards power because of my size and because of the weight and what I'm putting down into the pedals. It's a lot easier for me to put that much down, but outside of this little hill here, every round, I really don't put out too much power. I really kind of stay in line with everything. And that's on purpose because only on the hills would anybody ever really give me a chance of like passing me or a lighter rider. So I decided what I was gonna do in this race was the 2 guys sitting here with me, I was gonna ride with them. The race wasn't about getting out here and beating everybody. The race was about just getting used to riding longer rides. I'm about pace patterns now because I've learned that the new race season, they were talking to me on Z-Suns that the new race season starts, I want to say September 12th. So if I'm wrong, please correct me, but I think that's when the series starts. So I have never done that. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking they may be longer races. I may be wrong on that. I haven't learned everything about them yet. But I figured I would need to go ahead and start working on the pace that I have when I'm riding. So what I'm trying to do is find a pace, not go get scared because somebody shoots off in front of me, not look around and go, wow, these guys are just flying and I gotta speed up. No, find my pace, my comfortable pace, what I need to do so that I can stay alert, ahead of most of the guys, and plus, riding in a pack, if I have a pace that I stay at where I don't keep up and down, up and down, up and down, I'm thinking that I'll be more refreshed at the end of a race. Because with me being at a steady pace and me actually watching what I'm doing, feeling where my body's feeling, I think I can do a lot better in these races if I could just find a steady pace. So I'm trying to put the metrics up there so y'all can see as I'm riding. It may look like I'm putting out lights, 300 watts, but if you look down, I'm in the blue for most of this race. Most of this race, I'm in the blue. And you see my heart rate is not going crazy, shooting up and down. I found like 70 pedals per minute, about 220, 230 watts putting out. That's about 1.7, 1.8 kilowatts. That's what I'm trying to do. Just stay right there. Not go crazy with the watts, just kind of stay in that groove. And I had Bibby and the other guy, Jay. I don't want to mess up his name. It looked like it's a Chinese name, so I don't want to mess it up. So I'm gonna call him Jay. So that and I'm sorry that I didn't get your name. I'll figure it out later on. I'll put it in translation and try to figure it out. But as I'm riding the ride, I see Bibi riding with me, and I look down. I'm riding 1.9, 1.8, and I'm looking at them riding 3.2, 2.2, 2.4, and I'm still at 1.9. I'm not trying to pass them up, or I'm trying to be consistently steady at that pace. So if you leave me, now every once in a while you'll see it bump a little bit, but if you look at it, I am steady blue across the whole bottom. And the only time I do pick it up is when we come to, there's some gravel, some cobblestones. And when I see the cobblestone, I pick it up because I know that's the incline. Sometimes you forget, but since I have a detail telling me when to pick it up, if you notice, my red kicks in. And by the time I get to the top, I fall off of it because I'm not trying to ride it the whole way. It's just to get me up the hill to keep me level with them in a pack. So that's the whole scenario on this. So I'm just gonna try to ride it. This is actually, on this race, this is actually becoming like a group ride for me. You know, in a group ride, you ride at a certain blue or maybe green. It depends on what wattage you trying to put the group ride at. And you just kind of stay there. And I'm watching him, and he's riding. Bibi is riding good. Me and him, yeah, I think we end up kind of just pulling away. And it's not, I think because Jay either got tired or he just kind of slowed down a little bit. But if you look at me and Bibi, we kind of rode together for the rest of the ride. And I'm just riding with him and not thinking about, man, I'm trying to take off. No, I am trying to have a real consistent, look at the pace. I'm doing really nice with my pacing. I know, another thing is, this is Dolphin Downtown, I think that's what it's called. I've ran this race, oh my God. I've probably done 100 laps on this thing. So riding this race is kind of familiar. Races that are familiar, plus this race is built for me. These kind of races are not hard for me to do. So I'm just doing mostly a group ride in a race. And I'm trying to get my body used to a pace. Plus, this is the first race I've done since Monday. I did the Race the World Monday. I think it was number 4. And so this is the first race I've done since Monday. Before I got on here, I did do a 10-minute put roll with on my hydro, trying to get, I have a goal of trying to get 10 minutes, 2,600 meters, 2,700 meters. My goal is truly 10 minutes, 3,000 meters. That's my goal. So I think I have to roll at like 1 minute and 45 seconds every 500 meters to hit that. I think that's where I gotta be. I'm getting close. No, I'm not. I'm getting close to 2,600, I think I've broke 2,600, so that's one of my goals on there. So on here, as you see, I'm riding, and I'm still in the blue. The only time you'll see me shift into the red is when you see the cobblestones come up, and that's the hill. So I'm still at 71 pedals per minute. I'm not panicking. I'm not worried about him at the end. At this point, as we pulled away from Jay, in my head, this is literally what I'm thinking, is that no matter what, the worst I can do right now is come in second. So why worry about leaving Bibi? Just ride with Bibi. I'm not trying to crash. There's no sense in trying to break some record when I'm just gonna ride on the ride. It's about learning how to ride. And I watched Swiffer, and he was winning. I think he won a B class race. And you can see his numbers and how he's starting to narrow in how he rides. And I mean, he's narrowed in how he rides, not he's narrowing it in. But he has a way of riding where he's consistent. And that's what I'm trying to be. I want to be consistent. If you want to be a consistent winner, you have to be consistent at everything you do with this. So I'm trying to be consistent. I'm watching Bibi ride right next to me, and sometimes I try to drift off him, but I think he slows down on purpose when I get behind him. And it's kind of funny because he takes off, and I kind of get behind him, and I want to draft off of him. So as I get behind him to ride with him, I try to slow down. I even try to slow down sometimes just to ride behind him, and it seems like he slows down. I don't know. I hadn't been really watching the incline and decline on that, and I'm sorry because I have the picture kind of up too high on that side. But I think what it was is when it came to a decline, I don't care if it's like 1%, my body weight pushed me forward on him. So I wasn't trying to pass him. I was just trying to draft off of him. So So what I decided to do was just let him draft off of me. I never really changed the pace up. I come back around, we finishing up this third lap. We got 5 laps to go, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm just gonna let him follow. If he wants, he can draft off of me, and I'll actually be the leader for the rest of the way. I have no words about this, because to me, the race is fun to win. Don't get me wrong. But the race is not about winning all out, just, oh my God, I gotta win this, I gotta get it. No, this is one of the races, that's my first race back. I'm glad I did do my hydro and get myself kind of really warmed up for this. But it's about just running and getting to a pace that will allow me to win races in Class C. And since we're about to start doing the Swift seasonal races, it's time to really dial in where I need to do to win these races. Because I know, at least with a season, there's going to be a ton of Ds that are actually always racing. They don't show up now, but they're always racing. Now, I did see something, and maybe somebody could put in the comments. Somebody was racing D, and then all of a sudden they stopped being able to qualify for D races, and I think Swift moved them up to Class C, but it was due to the weight and the power output. Because when I see him, like I watched Bibby at one point, at I think close to the end of the race, he was putting out 11 kilowatts, and like I'm doing just 1.4, he was at 11. And I was trying to do the math in my head. I really was. What would it take for me to hit 11? And I'm not sure. I'm gonna look at it at the end, because I did power myself almost up to 1300 on this race. So I want to see what would it take for me to get to 11. It may not be in this race, it may be the next race, but I raced all these races back to back. So I think I would, personally at my weight, I think I would have to hit 2,000 watts to hit 10 and 11. Because I don't even go, I think the highest I've been is 6. I held 6 for like 15 seconds. That's the highest I've ever held. So you see me climbing here, I can jump up to 700, 800 in no time. But once I do that, it's because I don't stand up on the bike. For information, about 6 years ago, I tore both of my quadricep tendons, both of them. So I can stand up on the bike, I feel nervous. My legs are still not super strong. It sounds kind of weird to say that with the numbers I'm putting out, but my legs are still not strong. Every once in a while when I'm walking, I feel one of my legs kind of want to buckle. I don't got them stronger so I don't fall anymore, but it's still kind of nervous, from a nerve-wracking. When I try to stand up on the pedals and pedal, it doesn't feel comfortable at all. So the numbers you see I put up on, if you notice when I put them up, I'm sitting on the bike. I'm not standing up on the pedals. I think, I may be wrong, I think if I could be able to stand up on the pedals and pedal just like a bike rider would pedal, trying to put out numbers, the numbers that I put out would be massive. I really do, but I'm only thinking that. I'm not sure. I won't put that in, put pencil to pen and go, oh my God, this is exactly what I would do if I could stand up. But I think as time go along and I get down further, weigh in is next Saturday. Next Saturday is weigh in. But as I race and as I lose the weight more, as I hydro more, I will lose weight. And I think once I get closer to 300, I think I may be able to stand up on this thing and actually put out some, it sounds bad, real numbers. Because that's when I see, when I was watching the Tour de France and I was watching, I can't think of his name, but he's one of the best sprinters in the world. And this dude would get low and he would just put like this massive number up, and I'm looking at him race and I'm going, wow. You know, the numbers they put up are unreal. These guys' numbers, and I'm going, these guys' legs must look like tree trunks. As you see them put out for their small self, their legs must look like tree trunks. So I'm back to the race. I'm steering off because I'm thinking about other things as I'm talking about this. But I'm riding with him. My thing with him is I'm trying to drive. You can see it right here. I really came down. I think I'm at 50-something pedals. I'm just trying to stay behind him. and it's like he refuses to let me stay behind him. I just want to stay behind him. I'm not trying. I'm down. At one point, I think I was down to like 47 pedals per minute. I was not even trying to get close to passing him. But the thing says close the gap, and every time I close the gap up, just a little pedal to close the gap up, it's kind of like he stopped. Or maybe, like I said, we hit a decline, and I literally just coasted past him. Because my heart rate is at 120. I'm doing 59 pedals per minute, 55. I'm just trying to stay behind him. And I just kind of creep up in front, 36 pedals a minute. I just kind of creep up in front of him. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to stay behind him, but I think he wants to stay behind me. And if that's the case, just let me get out in front and just follow me. Now we get to the hill, and as you see, I increase my pedals, I put the power in, and I just do it enough to get up. I wasn't even trying to fully power through the hill. I was just doing enough to get past the hill. And so that the hill didn't affect me, because I know this race in the hill, I didn't want the hill to affect me. So as I power through the hill, I come around to the other side, and I look ahead, and I see the street, and I go, well, I'm just gonna ride this moment out and just follow him. And I didn't worry when we come over that little hump. I call it a hump. It's 5%, I think it was. But once I came over that hump, I just kind of stayed. You know, I wasn't trying to. This is about pacing. And since he threw the pacing out when I was trying to just follow him, I just said, you know what? I'm gonna let him take on off. If I catch him, I catch him. If I don't, I don't. I need to work on my pacing. And so I kind of focus back in on myself. And it's funny because the Humpty Humps does the job for me. If you see my speed, which you can't see because I got the camera angle, I got the screen angle wrong. Sorry about that, but if you would have saw my speed, I'm doing like 30-something miles an hour. And I'm not even putting in no numbers. I'm not even trying. And you see me just flying up on him, and I'm not trying to race, I'm not trying to fly past him, but it's just simple. The Humpty Humps really do push me forward. Give me enough momentum to go over the next hill, and I come down the next one. So as we come around, we're coming around on, we have 3 laps left on, we on the, I want to say this is the 6th lap. We come up on the 6th lap, and he's still with me. And I give him credit, he's just riding with me. He's not trying to beat me or nothing, he's just kind of riding with me. So as we come up on this, we got this is the 3rd lap. We got 2 left after this one, and I'm thinking to myself, we're gonna ride this out. But I keep looking at my watch. I don't know if it shows it on the screen, but I keep looking at my watch. And the reason I'm looking at my watch over and over and over is because I know it's like, at the time right now, it's like 5:20 at the moment, and I'm thinking to myself, I gotta make sure I finish this thing up in time, because I wanna have a little time to catch my breath, because the next race is coming up right after this one. And so I kind of set myself to run. I ran 3 races in an hour. I'm getting ready for Swift Insider tomorrow. So I ran 3 races in an hour. And so as I come up on this, I'm looking at the race, and I'm thinking to myself, do I speed up or do I stay low? And so since he got behind me, I thought, well, if I cut the pedals down a little bit and just kind of cruise, I won't lose him, and he won't try to jump ahead of me. He'll just kind of draft off the back of me. I don't mind pulling them along. This is nothing that I have to win. So I'm thinking, and like I said, at worst, I come in 2nd. That's the way I'm feeling about this. At worst, I come in 2nd. At best, I just blow him out. And I'm not trying to do that, so I'm just trying to stay with him. Now, you will see at the end of the race, I'm coming up on the second half. I think we hit this is when I put my power in. And you can see I moved the thing up, and I put the power in. And one of these, I think I said, no, I'm just gonna let it go. Yeah, this is the one. I said, I put a little power in just to get up the hill, and then I just cut it down a little bit. And the reason I did that was I was thinking to myself, I'm not gonna put that much power into this hill no more. I'm gonna kind of power through it, but not massive numbers. So I did enough just to get over the hill. He takes off on the other side, and I'm trying to come back down to where I'm supposed to be at. This is a race where I'm starting to get to the point where I can do smaller hills. Not being an expert at them, but I'm getting better at riding them. That's what I would say. They're not making me as nervous. The 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 negative hills, them 15% of hills, They do make me nervous, but I'm getting to a point where I'm getting enough endurance to power through them things. And if I got enough momentum going into them, and they're not like straight walls, I'm doing Spider-Man up the wall, I can pretty much get through those hills. So as we come over this hill, when we're doing the Humpty Hump does the work for me. I'm doing 60 pedals per minute, but I wish I hadn't moved it up that much because you can't see the speed. But I think I was, even with them Humpty Hump, I was running like 30 miles an hour. Because once I hit them, they kind of push me through each one of them. So we're coming up on the second to last lap. And at this point, we down to 2.5 miles, roughly 2.5 miles, 2.6 miles left, 2.5 miles left, which is 2.5 miles left on this thing. And I'm riding, and I'm looking back, and I know he's right behind me. I look down, and he's only 4 meters behind me. He's not really too far back. And we're coming up on the second to last lap, and I'm not trying to leave him. I'm trying to get my pedals back down. I'm trying to let him come up to me. I actually want to draft off on him for this second to last lap. I really want to. So if you look at my pedals, I'm backing off. I'm truly backing off. But he kind of, baby won't come past me. And the only time he comes past me is when he see the hill come up. I think he noticed that when the cobblestones come up, I'm gonna put some power in. And I got to the point where I was just hitting, I think I hit the draft button on this one. I even hit the draft button sometimes just early because it didn't really matter to me. I may have forgot on this one again. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes when I'm riding, I'm focused on one thing. Something else gets forgotten about, and the draft button probably got forgotten about. I'm not even gonna lie about that. So as we come along, we're pushing through, and he's right behind me, and I really want him to go around. That's the whole purpose of me even dropping my pedals down even more. But he refuses to go around. I think he wanted to make it a race at the end. I think that's what he was trying to do, or he had this idea he was gonna go around me. But if you look at the numbers we're riding at, now he's riding with me, and I'm kind of cool. I'm riding at 1.4. He's at 2.1, 1.6. He's always above me. And for me, at these numbers, if you look down, I'm in the great some of this race. I'm just in great. I'm not even going past it. Now, when we get this hill, I go, okay, cool. I start to power through this hill. I kind of want to just get up this hill and get to the other side and ride around and come back down. I know we're getting ready to get close to the last lap. And even then, I'm not even getting nervous on that. This is the only time like I say, this is the only time I would bring in the power is to get up this hill. And as quick as I bring the power in, I release it. And I just go back to ride. So it's gonna get kind of excited at the end of this race. I know this is a longer kind of monotonous race where you don't see nothing much but me and him riding. And it really is, I probably could have sped it up through the middle of most of this race, but I really wasn't thinking about that. I was just like, let me just show what was going on in this race. And if you notice his power, he's at, when I get ahead of him and we're going downhill, he kind of loses his power, kind of lack back a little bit. But he's doing really good. He's riding at 2.9, 3.0, and he's trying, and this is the thing, he knows every time we go over these Humpty Humps, I leave him. And I don't know if he's new at racing. I think I looked at his profile. He's been at it for a minute. He's about like me. He's probably started about the range same time I did. I started Swift back in October last year, I think October 29th. And I only really rode on Swift for the first 2 months, maybe 100 miles total from October 25th, somewhere now, up until the first of the year. All the way up to, I want to say, the February, I've only put in like 200 miles. All my miles now I get now have come from then when I bought the new bike. I bought the Soul SB 900, and I bought the Acerans, Ferro Neuro. Don't get me wrong, the power meter pedals. Once I bought those pedals, I kind of end up putting in all my miles. I started kind of getting used to riding. So here we come around on the last lap, and we're riding. And this last lap was kind of funny. I'm laughing about it, but the last lap was kind of funny because when we get to the cobblestones, when we ride, I hit the draft button because it don't sense to holding it. It's not gonna help me do anything. So I figured he could just draft off me and get the bonus off it. I don't know what it would add up. But to me, in my head, I was like, let me just hit it and let him ride with me. Like I say, this is not me trying to blow him out. In fact, I'm looking at my watch and I think it said I had like 5 minutes or 6 minutes to the next race start. So I'm going, okay, cool. I can just ride this thing out. It takes me about another 2 minutes to get done. And I have enough time. To get to the next race and sit and catch a breath for about 4 or 5 minutes. That's what I'm thinking in my head. So as we come around on this lap, I go, okay, cool. The little cobblestones should be coming up soon. And when the cobblestones come up, I'm gonna power through the cobblestones. And me and him, I'm determined in the back of my head that when we get over the Humpty Humps, that's when I'm gonna put the final speed in. I'm not trying to. That's when I'm gonna put my back. I make a determined that if I'm riding at a normal pace, when I get to the end, I'm just gonna put the power in at the end. So when I hit this hill, as you can see, I put it in. He's coming up on me, and I look at him. He's at 5. He's at 4.8, 4.9. I'm at 3.2, 3.4. So you can see how much the disparity between him and how much he can put out on the hill and how much I can. So when we come around this side, I'm thinking, I'm just gonna stay with him. I'm gonna wait till we get to the little Humpty Hump, then we're gonna race it out. Give him a nice little thrill. But because something popped up on the race, we're riding, I'm going, okay, I don't want to let him get too far ahead. He get the Humpty Humps, he may be able to really put it out there. So I'm kind of putting the numbers out, but I'm like, you see, I'm still, if you look at my picture, I'm not really hurting myself. I'm just kind of, okay, cool, we're gonna come, and then this pops up. And I see it count down, and it puts me in the mood of, man, let me just run it. If you see me talking about it, I really didn't say I didn't have a mic'd up. And I just put in the power. I'm just going, okay, cool, let me get through this race. And when I look down, I realize, I think once I go around this corner as we come up on the end of the race, I go, okay, cool, he's gonna race with me. I'm thinking Bibby gonna be right beside me or right behind me, racing with me. I seen the numbers he was putting out when we went up the hill. So I hit that thing so it don't take me out of this race. And I look down, and out of nowhere, I got like 5 seconds on it. I was like, wow, what happened? I know I put the power in, but I wasn't trying to really leave him that way. So with that, I want to say thank y'all for watching the race. You see my numbers. I'm going to see you on the next race. Have a good day.